and this event, of course. Okay.
Give it up for Socrates! How y'all doing tonight? Sounds good. A lot of excitement in the room. I like that. Yeah, this is what it feels like to be a Dutch person visiting Indonesia. So what everybody in this room, I see you all took the same course in life. You were all like, Googled, what's the world's tallest country? And I'm gonna go there. Yeah. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but you picked the tallest country in the world. I'm not going to say anything about the average height of the Indonesian people, but I don't think you're second tallest. Who's coming here for students? Who's only students? Only lots of students? No one wants to raise their hand. Who wants to live here in the Netherlands? A couple people? You already live here though? You've been in Nederlander? And you like living here, so that's good. That's good. You want to like living where you live, because otherwise, life kind of sucks. You know, trust me, I'm a political refugee. Because I'm an American. Well, actually, it's true. It is. I used to be American, actually. Now I'm Dutch. Yeah. As of January, I got my Netherlands citizenship. Yeah. So I'm living the dream. Come here as a tourist. A while later, end up being a Nederlander. At least you hope to, anyway. You know, that's the thing. You're like, this is a different culture. I don't know if you've noticed it. They have different food. Have the same spices. Choose not to use them. I mean, I'm Greek, you know. We have our own food, too. The Turks would disagree. I mean, it all looks the same. Different spellings, different pronunciation. But, man, but that isn't exactly the same thing. Yeah. That's the beauty of being invaded. I mean, if you can't get anything out of it, you know, at least get some food, right? They left, and it's like, well, they did leave, but I gotta tell you, they made one hell of a bagel. That's the thing, of course, the Dutch, they went everywhere, but they didn't really do their food. But they have their own, bitterballen, you know. Have you ever had a bitterballen? Yeah. And if you haven't had a bitterballen, don't be like we all did and just grab it and pop it in your mouth. Because it's hot inside. I mean, it's really, really hot inside. And if you're at some event and they give it to you, you're like, because you have to be cool. You can't be like, you know, at least you shouldn't. You try your best not to. You know, when I first came here, I decided I was never going to ask, what is this? You know? Because it's an annoying question. The answer is food. That's why we're eating it. It's food. Don't ask what it is, just eat it. You know? Everyone wants to eat food they've already eaten. But at some point, you've tried everything for the first time. You know? People only eat hot dogs. At one point, they were like, have this. What is it? It's a hot dog. I've never had it before. It's food. Just eat it. Of course, when you come to a country like the Netherlands, that can kick you in the face. They have dropje, you know, like drops, these things. A friend of mine had one. He likes the salt ones. It's like a little block of salt, right? The dropjes. Yeah. That's a hard thing to eat, boy. Yeah, you agree with that, right? That's not an easy one to eat. I was trying to eat everything, but then he left the room, and I was like, it's hard to eat a chunk of salt, you know? But like I say, I am an American. Anybody been to the U.S.? Anybody want to go? Oh, this is a smart group of people. I like that. Yeah. They got a saying in the U.S., if you don't like it, get the fuck out. It's true. It worked. I didn't like it. I got the fuck out. I've been a lot happier ever since. Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, but we're doing a throwback thing in the U.S. now. We're trying to dilly again with fascism. I'm not sure why. I think it's because they don't know what any of these words mean. They talk about the fascist communists, which if you know what words mean, is a difficult combination. It's like a vegan cannibal. You know, you gotta pick a lane, you know? But I like living here because they've got different culture than we have. It's a much better culture, in my opinion. You know, the Dutch have this wonderful this word, which is gezellig. You know the word gezellig? It's a wonderful, warm evening we do as a group. We make a night wonderful and fun as a group. Like sometimes you'll find yourself in like a theater with no chairs. But do you let it get you down? No. You find a place to sit. Why? Because it's Gezellig, Indonesian style. I mean, in the U.S. we have culture too, but it's like mass shootings. I mean, you do it in a room like this, you know. It's a group kind of a thing, you know. And like they have a word, I was getting a vaccination because I'm not a flat earther. And I'm getting older, so I like a good vaccine. And there was a poster that said, "Groen de gift of vaccinatie, or the cadeautje of vaccinatie voor de kinderen van de wereld." Basically, give the gift of vaccinations for the children of the world. And there's this word groen, which is a wonderful word against giving us a nice gift that you give somebody. And it's spelled, you know, K-U-N, G-U-N. Now, we have the same word in English in America. We pronounce it differently because we pronounce it gun. And it's, you know, it's a gift that does give. And for some reason, we give gifts to children with it. Not sure why. And when you ask them, what about this problem? They're like, no, there's nothing wrong, you know? Isn't it strange when people don't notice the horrible stink in the room? Smile. There you go. That's a long selfie. The people behind you in the selfie too, which is the best part of it. And I'm not in the selfie, which is sort of upsetting, you know? You should have photo bombed me at the very least. Not bombed, bad choice of word. But, so like I said, being in the Netherlands, it's a different thing. I'm Greek, so for me, I already had a different cultural experience. You know, I didn't only live in this weird Americana thing. You know, if you go to the U.S., don't go to Kansas. I never understand why people go to these weird states. You know, we don't go to Kansas. None of us go to Kansas. You ask an American if they've been to Kansas, they're like, at best they drove through it. I might have flown over it. But you don't go there. Idaho. I don't know where Idaho is. I'd have to look it up on Google. I have no clue. Of course, I am an American. We're not good at geography. And if you ask an American, you press him to name a country, we'll say Africa. Which, I mean, you know, give them credit, they at least knew a continent, you know. It's still points, right? You know, they could have gone something with, you know, some made up place, you know, Harry Potter land, I don't know. I don't watch that stuff either, but like I say, so living here, it's a fun thing. The language is difficult. You all speak perfect Dutch, I assume? Have you gach the lunch? You gotta gach it, you know. In Indonesian language, does the gach come up? No, it doesn't. There's no gaching. English either. You notice that? I've spoken now a few minutes. I haven't gached once. You know? No need for it. You know, we can describe almost everything without a gach. Dutch, they're like, I don't know. Gach it. You know? It's like the word enough. Enough is a nice word, right? It's enough, right? Not for the Dutch. They decided to make a genough. But even that wasn't enough. They went with genoeg. Because if you can double hook something, this is Dutch. You know, a lot of good double hookers. There's not a lot of triple hookers I've asked. Nobody can tell me a triple hook. You're thinking about it right now. I can't come up with it. Like one of my favorite words is graag gedaan. You know, it's a nice word, pleased to do. You know, would you like a cup of coffee? Yeah, graag. It's nice. It seems nice when you know the word. But if you think about it, graag. This is a Klingon word. You know, your Klingon buddy dies, you scream, ah! I actually gave my cousin something, my Greek cousin. She asked for something, I handed it to her. She said, thank you. What's that, kakaran? What was that? Sorry, I spoke Dutch. It's embarrassing when you're around a Greek, you know. It's even worse when the Greek said to me, you sound German. Yeah, it's not really nice, you know, as a Greek. And one of my Dutch teachers, I was talking Dutch to him, he said I sounded Turkish. Appreciate that. I mean, at least tease me, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's a hard world. And it doesn't get easier. I don't know if you've noticed it. That's the weird thing about it. Have you noticed the world's like odd? Anybody notice an odd world? Is anybody on board with the overall direction of everything? Anybody? Because it's like I've noticed that we, as a group, aren't really on board with how it's all going. I don't know why it's going the way it's going, but apparently somebody likes it. And I find that odd, you know? Apparently it's something about politics. And people think politics is going to help the world. I don't think so. You know, as a Greek, you know, politics is a Greek word. You know, it comes from poly, which means many, and ticks, which are blood-sucking parasites that spread diseases. That's how you get politics, the politicans. That's the thing, it's like democracy itself is getting a bad name, which is again unfortunate because democracy, again, it's a Greek word. It comes from demo, to try out, and krisi, which is Greek for wine. Because people just wanted to have some wine, they just wanted a party, you know? Which is why political organizations are all called parties, you know? That's why I vote for the Green Party. There's no parties like the Green Party parties. Never, ever, ever gotten a cheer from the Green Party people. I always wonder, what did you guys vote for? You know, apparently a lot of people voted for current builders. Based on the results, you know, otherwise the Green Party would have won. I find it odd, but like I say, I'm an American, so I like believing the fact that that fascism is a problem. Could never happen here. Yeah, that's the beauty of Dutch fascism. It's still kind of weird and uncoordinated. You know what I mean? When the fascists took over, it took them, what, 8, 9, 10 months to get in charge? That's not exactly all that strong, you know? When Vladimir wants something done, he just does it. Doesn't matter what happens. But like I said, so for me, this arc of life is a hard thing. And I don't know if you, a lot of young people, do you guys remember COVID? Yeah. Fun time, we got in touch with ourselves. A lot of meditation, you know, on the me time. Again, we thought the world would change, right? Came back just like it was. But for me, at the end of COVID, see, I had an experience where I was forced to learn a Dutch word I did not want to learn. And again, I don't know how your Dutch is, but that word was aangereden. I think I said it right. It means to be crashed into. Because I did the most Dutch thing ever. I was riding my bike and I get hit by a scooter. Yeah. Changed my plan. I was originally going to go to the sauna. Instead, I went to the hospital, the House of Paracetamol. Anybody been to the hospital here? Healthy bunch of people. Or your arms don't work enough, you can only murmur, which is bad. Yeah, so I came around this corner and there was a scooter coming the other direction and we kind of smashed into each other and I tried to explain to him that he was on the wrong side of the road and, you know, he should pay more attention, but I didn't have a lot of time, so all I could say was, ah! And we went flying through the air like a bird, which was awesome, you know. But the landing, I did not stick the landing because I landed like an octopus, you know. Broke half of my arms. And I figured, well, now it's time to call 911, but I was smart. I called 112. It helped. And the guy said to me, I asked for an ambulance because I thought, you know, broken arm. Seems like ambulance worthy. And he said to me, are you going to pass out? I said, I don't think so. He said, well, take a taxi. Literally told me this. And I'm feeling not that good. So I thought, hang on a second. I said, I'm getting a little dizzy. I think I might pass out. And he sent me a taxi. He sent me an ambulance. Otherwise, he sent me a taxi, even better. And the thing with the ambulance, though, he offered me fentanyl. You can get fentanyl with a taxi. But you got to know the guy first, set it all up. It's a whole thing. At least the ambulance guy, he had it with me. So he offered me fentanyl. And as an American, my first thought was, don't tease me. Just give me the heroin. I actually said no at first. I actually thought fentanyl. I don't know if I want fentanyl. And then my shoulder was like, you should have the fentanyl. And so I hooked the thing into my hand, and I got this wave of relief. You ever feel the wave of relief? It just like passes. Mine goes from left to right. Unfortunately, I know that now. And I felt fantastically. I was like, oh, that's so much better. And he said to me, now I'm going to give you the fentanyl. And he said, what the hell was that? He said, saline. I don't know if he mixed the bottles up, because the saline was fantastic. He gave me the fentanyl, absolutely no effect whatsoever. I don't know how do you get addicted to this? I have no idea. So I get to the ambulance, get to the hospital, and the nurse walks up to me, and she did something. Anybody, any doctors, nurses in here? If you are, become one. Don't do this. This is not what this is bad bedside manner. Because I was sitting there and she walked up and on the screen was my x-ray and she walked up and she went, ugh! Literally did that to me. I said, oh, I hope that's not mine. She don't. Does not look good. And then she said to me the words, the best words from the doctor could ever tell you. She said, would you like a shot of morphine? Yeah. I'll buy a round for the whole room here. Let's do a shot. And that was really quite better. I don't know how you get addicted to fentanyl. I get addicted to morphine. Morphine's a good drug. And I've asked audience members, anybody have a morphine? Any morphine people ever have it? Anyone who like it? It's everyone who's experienced it. The few people who don't are those who can't take opioids, which is horrible. You know, you can't even take an opioid. What's life without opioid, you know? But in the end, all they did was nothing. They did this Dutch thing called Nixon, which sounds like the second worst president. But Nixon actually means nothing. Yeah, they gave me this blue strap, sent me home and told me it comes good. Yeah, if you've ever had the therapy in the Netherlands, they will all tell you it comes good. It's Dutch advice. It's free, optimism, buy some time. You never know. Maybe it comes good. It comes good. And she sent me home with the words, would you like another shot of morphine? I left happy, you know, I hoped it's coming good, you know what I mean? And about 8 months passed because COVID had just ended and there really was no personnel and they were having me exercise my arm and they told me that I had to passively raise it and see how high I could raise it. Because though my shoulder's broken, they were like, and they did nothing but put a strap in it. They were like, you can move it because they're Dutch. And they had me move my arm and passively and actively, and I could only move it about this high passively or actively, which is also about as high as you could, you know, socially acceptable to raise your arm. But they told me I had to raise it higher, so I'm in my backyard, pushing my arm up, waving to my neighbors. I'm getting help my arm get better, you know, but my neighborhood doesn't like me anymore. Closet Nazi. In fact, I actually went to Germany for a second opinion, and when I showed them the arm thing, they were like, no. Give you a second opinion on that. And so basically, eventually, they finally did surgery on me, and they put 12 screws in my shoulder and cut a piece of bone out of my knee. Learned another Dutch word I didn't want to know, bone marrow. Yeah, that sucked. The worst thing about them taking out the marrow, 4 months later, the surgery went bad. It was all for nothing. You know, I got the scar for the rest of my life, though. Woo! Yeah, my shoulder turned necrotic. Again, these are horrible words. You don't need these words, you know what I mean? But notice necrotic, not a hook in it. No need for a hook in that word. And necromancer, necrotic, it means to die. So my shoulder was dying. I thought I was going for a checkup. The guy's like, your shoulder turned necrotic. Do more surgery, which was cool. Because I was hoping another shot of morphine. Nope. No, I got Oxycontin. You know, any Oxycontin people in the room? Oxy people? People seem to like Oxy. It only made me sleep. It was good. I took it at night for sleeping purposes, which was good. It's nice to sleep. Sleep's good. We all agree on that, right? We all like a little more sleep than we get. Don't get a broken shoulder. It's not good to sleep on a broken shoulder. Oxycontin helps, though, I'll tell you that much. So I thought my life was getting back together, you know, because actually a little while ago, I turned 58 this year. Yeah. Proper reaction? Yeah. The good thing is, though, in Dutch, it's 85 in Dutch. Yeah. It's a little math joke for me. You have to learn a little Dutch, you know, it's 58, or 58, yeah. When you become Dutch, you become dyslexic. You don't try, it just happens, you know. The dates are all screwed up, the times are all screwed up, you know. I had a show on the 11th of December and also a show on the 12th of November. I thought they were the same date. I couldn't tell them apart. They looked exactly the same. Again, like the numbers, the I before E except after C, or in Albert Heijn for some unknown reason. Yeah, it's a hard language to do. It's a hard transition. I guess, like I said, as you're getting older, it's even harder than that. And so after I finally got my last surgery, I thought, hey, new life, right? New life, start again. And 4 months later, I actually had a stroke. Yeah, So if you can understand me, woo, Dutch medical system working. Yeah, I learned another Dutch word, bruto. Horrible, horrible words. Yeah, I went to sleep, I took a nap for an hour, went to sleep with Socrates, woke up an hour later, Strokates. Thank you, appreciate that. The only one thing I got out of the stroke, besides a little brain damage, was that one joke, and it's not really worth it, you know, in my opinion. Again, that's hard thing about being here. But living here, like I said, I was in Greece a little while ago, and it was the first time I ever experienced where the weather was really trying to kill me. You know, how hot does it get in Indonesia in centigrade? Does it hit 50? Are you like Pakistan, for God's sake? It hit 38, 40, and 40 C with, I don't know, a super dry or whatnot. I drank 2.5 liters of water. I didn't sweat, didn't pee. Water just left me. I don't know how people live like that. It's truly difficult, you know. Here, you say what you want about Dutch weather. It's never tried to kill me. Never once. You know, it's like that little tiny Dutch rain, you know, your Dutch rains and all, miser, you know. It's a little tiny rain gets in your face, you know. They named it that because it makes you so miserable. The thing about miser, never killed a person. No one has ever died from miser. You know, what happened, Uncle Jake? The miser got it. Can't do miser. If you don't know how to curse in Dutch, you just threw the word cancer in front of anything. They like a good disease curse, tuberculosis, you know. They don't do COVID. You know, COVID miser. They don't do that. It's like, because it's like we just hung out the house for a while. It's not the same thing, you know what I mean? But, so like I say, to be here, it's one of my favorite things. When I first moved here, I moved here in 2009, and the word of the year from 2009, anybody know what the word of the year was? No, 9/11, that's a different word. I'm not even sure if I remember the way, it's swaffling. So I was here 3 months, and my Dutch friend had to teach me this word. It became the Dutch word of the year. To swaffle something is you have to stand pretty close to it, depending on the man, and you drop your pants and you kind of like hit it, right? And this is called swaffle. Women can do it, but they got to get a little closer. And apparently there was these 2 Dutch guys in India at the Taj Mahal, and one of them had this great idea that he would swaffle the Taj Mahal. And the other one thought, I'm going to make a video about this. And this was back in 2009 when there really wasn't that many viral videos. So the video went viral and everybody thought this was great because they're Dutch. It's a strange culture, but nonetheless, so swaffle became the word of the year, and they made sure I knew it right off the bat. And the weird thing, again, with your culture and your concept, when everything gets bad here, it's like when it's raining and you're sitting there with the music at the light. The correct term is lekker weer, sweet weather, basically. Is that me? I'm not sure. But, and, you know, the reaction is, you know, it's heerlijk, you know, it's fantastic, you know what I mean? You just sort of accept that. And like when everything goes bad and you have like multiple operations and, you know, a stroke, the way you deal with it, you just think to yourself, you go, which is extremely Dutch, you know. It's like a sarcastic sigh, you know. And of course my favorite, one of the many great Dutch sayings is, of course, helaas en pindakaas, which is what they tell you when they don't do surgery for 8 months. They're like, oh, helaas en pindakaas. It means, oh, well, peanut butter. I don't know if you know that or not, but it means, oh, well, peanut butter. And knowing it does not help. That's not a helpful explanation. But it rhymes, and the Dutch love a good rhyming saying, you know. Again, I was here 4 months. They taught me the favorite Dutch saying, which is noken in de koken. Actual Dutch saying. It literally translates into fucking in the kitchen. Sorry, Dutch culture, it's not me. And it's something that they tell people that they use. There's no actual, I do not know how to use noken and koken in context. No idea. But it rhymes. The only thing I have that's possible is that when you combine noken and koken with helaas pindakaas, you end up with satay sauce. And if you haven't had satay sauce, you try it out yourself. It's a weird thing. So anyway, I think that's about what I'm supposed to do, etc. So I'm going to end it up here with the fact that normally I'd go shorter than such. Like I became a minimalist a while ago. Well, after the divorce. It's one of my old jokes. I thought I'd throw it out there. Anyway, you guys are great. Come to here. I like to come to Indonesia. I'll check you out. I heard the food's great. Thanks for coming to the show. My name is Socrates. I'll see you guys next time.
Well, thank you, Socrates. Let's